So my name is James Eastwood, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about worldview, what it is, how it affects us as individuals, and what it means for us as teachers. So, as the word itself suggests, worldview is simply the way in which an individual sees and experiences the world. It's not a physical view of the world, like the sight of planet Earth from an orbiting space station, but it's more of a philosophical view of the world, or a philosophical way of which one interprets the world. So worldview is an all-encompassing perspective on everything that exists and matters to us. So James N. Anderson suggests in his popular book, What's Your Worldview?, that your worldview represents your most fundamental beliefs and assumptions about the universe you inhabit. It reflects how you would answer all the big questions of human existence and the fundamental questions we ask about life, as well as the universe and everything within it. So, I like to see worldview as a little bit like belly buttons. See, everybody has them, but we don't always talk about them, and some people aren't even very aware of them. So, a worldview is as indispensable for thinking as an atmosphere is for breathing. You can't think in an intellectual vacuum any more than you can breathe without a physical atmosphere. Most of the time you take the atmosphere around you for granted. You look through it rather than at it, even though you know it's always there. Much the same goes for your worldview. Normally you look through it rather than at it. It's essential, but it usually sits in the background of your thought. So your worldview shapes and informs your experiences of the world around you. Like a pair of spectacles with coloured lenses, it affects what you see and how you see it. Depending on the colour of your lenses, you see some things more easily, while other things de-emphasised or distorted. And then there are some things that you might not even see at all. So our worldview can impact significantly on a whole bunch of things in our lives. Some of the first things that come to mind when I think about answering this question myself are that it impacts the way I treat other people, the way I approach difficulties and challenges throughout my own life, and the way I essentially treat other people. And that's because I'm an Adventist myself, and in the Adventist church we have a whole set core beliefs and values, and I very much believe in them, and they are a big part of what makes up my personal worldview.
I think my worldview is something that I've thought about quite often, and it impacts my life on quite a deeper level. See, I grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist, so I have a Christian worldview, which gives me a strong understanding of the value of people, and so that the way that I should treat other people. I think I also have hope for the future because of my worldview. Yeah, so those two things, respect for people and hope for the future.
I've been born and raised an Adventist, been a Christian all my life, and I know that we live in a sinful society. In this sinful society, I think God's asked us for, to do one job, and that's pretty much just to be His soldiers. And what does that entail? And that entails preaching the good news and letting people know about who God is, and effectively that will teach them about eternal life. And I think that's what we've been called to do, and that's what we're here for. But I think that if we're preaching the good news, I think eternal life is key. Are you going to edit that?
My worldview impacts how I treat others, how I treat my family, how I approach the day, and just my first thoughts in the morning, and how I get through situations with being assessments, exams, difficulties with friends, or difficulties with family. My worldview impacts all those type of things.
Well, teachers have such a large impact on their students, on the students that come into their classroom. And so when a teacher talks about their worldview, students are going to listen to it. You know, teachers are one of the biggest central role models in a student's life. And so when a teacher opens up about their worldview, on how they see the world, students are going to absolutely take that on board. And there's a very, very high possibility that teachers will, through doing that, be able to actually shape the way that their students view the world. And so essentially change their worldview. And now looking big picture at this, when students have their worldview changed, and when they have it shaped, it changes the way that they behave, it changes the way that they act, it changes the way they view and see things, and this can have an even bigger impact on the wider community. For example, their families, their friends, and so by impacting one student, a potential effect that can come from this is a whole wider group of people are affected simply by you sharing your personal worldview.